Arizona Cardinals preseason football is brought to you by Hyundai, proud partner of the Cardinals. By Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. By University of Phoenix, the official education partner of the Cardinals. And by Desert Schools Federal Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, we're here for you.
Back here at University of Phoenix Stadium, the Cardinals and Bears about to kick off its preseason game number 3 for Arizona. Alongside Ron Wolfley, I'm Dave Pasch. Let's bring in now the third member of our crew down to the field, and Lisa Matthews.
Thanks, guys. All eyes are always locked in on the position opposite of Patrick Peterson, and who can lock down that spot? Right now, it's a healthy Justin Bethel. Bruce Arians very pleased with him throughout the spring and in training camp. Bethel told me that this is the best he's ever felt. He knows he's going to get picked on. That's just part of the job opposite of Peterson, but he's looking forward to the challenge. Last year, going through his ups and downs, he said this is the best he's ever felt, and he's ready for the challenge ahead. Guys?
Well, Lisa, you remember last year when Bruce Arians was asked whether Justin Bethel was coming along okay, and he said he's a failure in progress.
Yes.
He called him out, but Bethel has put that past him and has used it as motivation and has become a much better player this year. Now, how will it play out in the regular season? We'll find out.
No, it's interesting to hear Lisa say that he's looking forward to the challenge, Justin Bethel, right, of being the corner opposite of Patrick Peterson. And he's really shown that by looking for the ball more. That was one of the things that Justin Bethel has had a hard time in the past, just his ball skills, looking for the ball and actually making the play on the football. That's an area I think he's really improved in this training camp.
Bears won the toss and will receive. So Richie Leone will kick off for the Cardinals. He is in a battle with Matt Weil for the punter position. And when you and I sat down with BA over a week ago and asked him, what's the number one thing you're looking for? He says a punter.
Well, you give me a good punter, David. You give me a punter, you give me a defense, I'll be in every game.
Well, the Cardinals feel like they found their place kicker, even though we're not seeing him right here. But Phil Dawson at age 42 has an excellent track record of accuracy, and he will be the field goal man for the Cardinals this year. Benny Cunningham, former Ram, is the deep man for Chicago. He takes it at the 2-yard line. And good run here by Cunningham past the 40 and finally brought down. Maybe a touchdown saving tackle by Harlan Miller. This was a problem last year, special teams.
Well, you got the L5 and the R5. You got them coming down the railroad tracks right there. This is nothing more than a right return, right? And suddenly bends it back to the middle of the field. But poor lane discipline by the Cardinals kickoff cover team. And by the way, they have been nails through the first 2 weeks of the preseason.
Mike Glennon is the Chicago quarterback. The running back is a rookie out of NC-A&T, Tariq Cohen. Jordan Howard not playing tonight. And here's Cohen with a big run. You see that speed as he picks up the first down all the way to the 41. They've got a guy in Jordan Howard who last year was among the NFL leaders in rushing, and then they go draft a guy in the 4th round. They think this kid Tariq Cohen could be as good as Howard.
Well, you got to love that. You line up in 12 personnel right there, 2 tight ends. Go with a check with me. You can run it either way, the right or the left. Glennon went to the right that time. Got the edge on the tackle zone.
Saw those numbers for Glennon, that interception, that early pick 6 on the first series. Nice play here in the secondary by or in the backfield rather by Frosty Rucker taking down Cohen. Rucker, the veteran, 12th NFL season, 33 years old. He's the leader up front for Arizona.
Well, you watch Frosty Rucker right there. The one technique came back door. Went around the center. The center got the hook. He used the center as propulsion to get around that corner and made the play. That is a veteran play.
3-yard loss. Glennon with a short pass to former first-round pick Kevin White, and the Badger is all over him. That's vintage Honey Badger right there. Smelled that out.
It is the Badger's instincts that separate him from every other player that puts on a pair of shoulder pads. He is a gridiron savant when he plays this game. Sees it in a 4th dimension. Not just 3-dimensional, but 4 dimensions. That guy That tells you he's back.
Well, that's why he says sometimes playing free safety is hard for him, because he gets bored. He sees things, but he can't just get out of position. Here's a screen pass to Cunningham on 3rd and long, and the Cardinals are all over it. Antoine Bethea was there first. Scooby Wright in on the play as well, and the Bears have to punt.
Oh, my goodness. How about that? Little cover 3, 3 deep, 4 underneath. Watch Antoine Bethea come out of the secondary right there and make that play. Like a dark cloud, he came down out of the secondary right through the screen that was being set up to make that play.
Kerwin Williams, it's his job to lose, as the punt returner and kick returner for the Cardinals is deep. He's going to let this one go, and the Bears watch it go out of bounds inside the 5. Boy, initially it looked like Deontay Thompson couldn't track it, but he didn't need to. It was a perfect punt out of bounds around the 3-yard line. The starting offense for the Cardinals backed up inside their 5-yard line. Carson Palmer last week, quarterback rating of 104. He threw a touchdown pass. In fact, all 3 quarterbacks for the Cardinals, Palmer, Stanton, and Blaine Gabbert, with a quarterback rating over 100 through the preseason. This group should play more than it did last week. 14 plays. That was all one drive last week. They should get about 20 snaps tonight. Run play, David Johnson on 1st down. And he picks up about 4 out to the 8-yard line, running behind DJ Humphries, the left tackle who is back from injury. He was the right tackle last year, and he and Jared Valdir switching positions for 2017.
Really is a huge story in this preseason. Just DJ Humphries settling into that left tackle position. And not only that, David, I also would say Jared Valdir settling into that right tackle position. But here, this is a nice little matchup tonight for DJ.
Humphries, a 1st-round pick a couple years ago. Didn't play at all that first year. But really matured in year 2. Another run play, and Johnson in trouble in the backfield. Jay Howard there first, along with Jonathan Bullard for the Bears. So a loss of 1 or 2 on the play. 3rd and long coming up.
This is what they got to do. They got to go ahead and eliminate these negative plays and these negative runs right there. It looks like there was some type of breakdown in communication with Mike Ubati, DJ Humphries, somewhere there. You've got to be able to communicate. That's one of the things A.Q. Shipley does a great job of at center.
Larry Fitzgerald, the bottom of your screen. He wasn't out there for the first play, but is in the game now. Palmer from the goal line, and he throws incomplete, but a late flag. And usually when you see a flag thrown that deep in the secondary, it's illegal contact, something against the defense. Holding, perhaps. Jeff Triplett is the referee tonight, by the way.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 22. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Trayvon LeBlanc, the guilty man for the Bears. Remember, the Bears signed Marcus Cooper in the offseason. There's John Fox, the head coach. Been a rough couple of years for Foxy with Chicago, but a lot of that just lack of personnel. They're trying to rebuild that roster. They drafted Mitchell Trubisky, number 2 overall. So a fresh set of downs for the Cardinals on their 12. Palmer with time, and wide open in the middle of the field to the 32-yard line is J.J. Nelson. That's a 20-yard pass play.
What a great job by Carson Palmer. You watch Carson Palmer right here look off the safety, comes back to the post, being run by Skeletor. J.J. Nelson, what a great job. Here's DJ Humphries, one-on-one right here on the outside, doing a nice job at left tackle. Got a little dog in him, too.
That was Willie Young, the Bears leader in sacks among their returning players, 7.5 a year ago. Back to the ground game, no hole there for Johnson. Swallowed by the nose man, Eddie Goldman. No gain, maybe a loss for David Johnson on the play.
The Cardinals trying to run the inside zone right there, and you can see David Johnson being very, very patient. It is one of his best attributes, but sometimes you've got to be more decisive when you run the ball. You can't always be Lev Bell. Let's put it that way. Sometimes you got to be more decisive, pick a hole, and hit that thing.
When you think about as good as David Johnson was last year, you talk to the coaches and they say, man, there were some holes that he missed as Palmer throws high and incomplete. Going to be third down here. But David Johnson last year, 2,100 scrimmage yards, 20 touchdowns, which led the NFL, but he also made some mistakes that would have led to big plays for the Cardinals and maybe more wins. They're hoping that shores some of that up this year.
God, what a nice job right there. I don't know if you saw that, David. Chris Johnson did a great job on blitz pickup, stepping up on there and slide protection, picking up that blitzing linebacker.
Well, that's kind of the stuff we're talking about, where Chris Johnson excels at that. David Johnson's still learning. Palmer on third and long, and underneath to Chris Johnson, but he's wrestled down well short of the first down by Jarrell Freeman, and so the Cardinals, well, flag down. They say it's on the Cardinals, so they'll punt here. I just hope Chris Johnson can stay healthy, because the Cardinals, first of all, he's a leader, he's a pro.
Holding number 68 offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is fourth down.
They think that Chris Johnson still has it, and he's a great number 2. Right? I mean, if you got David Johnson and Chris Johnson as your top 2 backs, you feel pretty good about your running back situation.
No, you feel great about it. Look, I think Chris Johnson has just got to show Bruce Arians and the coaches that he's still got the jets. He's still got the wheels. He can hit that button and accelerate the way that he used to, and his top end speed is still there, because we've seen that happen.
Jackson had a little trouble with that. Lost the ball. It's scooped up, but a flag down. Aaron Brewer, the long snapper. Now you can't advance that, so if it's Cardinal ball, they'll have it around their 18. But I don't think the Cardinals allowed Eddie Jackson, the return man, to actually field that punt. Tyvon Branch popped him pretty good. Well, initially, Eddie Jackson backed up to the 5-yard line, and then he darted forward 15 yards. And Tyvon Branch just couldn't stop.
You've got to give him that 1-yard cushion. You do. And although I think Tyvon Branch timed that thing perfectly, I think that might be what they're discussing right now. The fact that he did not get that cushion.
Interference with the opportunity to make a catch. Number 20, 27 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Oh, it hit Eddie Jackson definitely, but it was close as to whether there was contact. Come back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Tyvon Branch is a very savvy player, and it was awfully close to whether this was indeed interference, Wolf.
Well, once again, you can see that Tyvon Branch timed that thing up beautifully, but you've got to give him 1 yard. You got to give him the ability to catch the ball or muff it, as he did in that case. I think it's a good call.
BA was having it out with the officials during the commercial. Bears go back to the ground game and pick up about 3. Scooby Wright on the stop of Tariq Cohen. Tyvon Branch, a starter now on defense, was hurt much of last year.
Sorry, David. That is such a scary thing to do back there as a punt returner. You got your eyes up. Imagine trying to sprint through a used car lot, David, where you could not look down at the ground. You knew at some point you were going to get hit by a car.
Glennon on 2nd and 7. And it's a first down catch to the 46-yard line by Cameron Meredith, the leading receiver for the Bears last year. Guy that was undrafted out of Illinois State.
How about that? A little pressure being brought. James Betcher rolling off the Badger. Coming from the right of Mike Glennon right there. Picked up by the Bears nicely. Bears line up in a fullback. Get in the eye and say, watch this.
Wolf is salivating up here. Would you stop slobbering all over the telestrator? For the fullback on the field. Cohen with another nice run. And this has got to be a concern right now for James Betcher. They've given up big runs last week. And again here with the first group against the Bears front.
This is nothing but blunt. You take the fullback and put him on the end man of the line of scrimmage, and you saw it right there. Chandler Jones cannot go inside. He cannot. He has contained. Once Chandler Jones decided to go inside, the fullback, now contained, has been busted.
Cardinals are playing without their middle linebacker, Carlos Dansby, tonight. That does not help. Cohen again. And look at the Jets with Cohen past the 30. I was talking to some of the folks for the Bears broadcast team before the game, and he has been the talk of training camp along with Mitchell Trubisky. They feel like they're putting together some nice pieces on that side of the ball.
Man, all they're doing right there is running the tackle zone. It looked like the Arizona Cardinals had it covered up. And he went ahead, bounced it in, and then bounced it out.
That was a 9-yard gain for Cohen. Kadeem Carey, who played at Arizona's in the game, and they keep the fullback, Michael Burton, on the field for 2nd and a yard. And Carey has the first down. We were talking earlier, Wolf, about Mike Glennon, the quarterback. It's interesting when you look at Mitchell Trubisky. They draft him number 2. The story is well known now that Mike Glennon was at the draft party at the Bears' request to be the face of the franchise.
Yes.
Talk about where the team is headed. And what do? They draft a quarterback. And not only do they draft a quarterback, they trade up a spot to get Trubisky from North Carolina.
Let me just say it was a very uncomfortable moment.
Glennon with a quick throw out on the flat. Kendall Wright, and he's brought down after a gain of about 2. Glennon was the 3rd quarterback taken in the 2013 draft behind E.J. Manuel and Geno Smith. So Glennon, the last man standing among that group.
Well, that is great. You see the honey badger right there. Tyrann Mathieu's out here actually. Go ahead, guys. We can't see him where he's lined up here, but watch Tyrann Mathieu come up, get off the block, and make this play. I mean, that again, that's the Badger doing Badger-like things.
Carey dropped by Kimdichie. 1-yard pickup. Kimdichie getting off a block and making a play.
Like to see that, don't you? The big man. Now see Chandler Jones right there actually holding the point, setting the edge, turning that back inside where Robert Kimdichie can make a play. And Chandler Jones allowed that long run earlier to break down because he jumped inside and lost contain. That time he held the point.
3rd down and 8 for Glennon and the Bears offense. That pass broken up by Justin Bethel. Stepped in front of Cameron Meredith, and it's 4th down.
How about that right there, Jay Batts? Make a play. Once again, looking for the ball, making a play on the ball. That's well done by Justin Bethel. Good man covered, but again, looking for the ball, sticking that left hand out there, showing some ball skills.
Wasn't the best throw, though.
Still, you know what? Honestly, you can only do what you can do.
Oh, no, I'm not taking it away from Bethel. Just
a little late is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was inside. And Meredith really didn't have a chance to catch it. 42-yard attempt here for Connor Barth, and he puts it through. So the Bears get points, but it could have been worse. The Cardinals defense holds on 3rd down. Quarterback coach Byron Leftwich calling plays again tonight. He talked to us about taking on that responsibility.
You always got to be thinking ahead, so you're thinking so much that you don't have a time to be nervous. You don't have time to worry about anything. You're just calling them, and you're just thinking of the quarterback and just trying to talk to the quarterback when they come to the sideline, see what they seeing, make sure we all seeing the same thing, and just get them ran. Just get them ran, get the plays called, and try to think of the quarterback as you call them plays.
Byron Leftwich played for Bruce Arians in Pittsburgh, and he's on the fast track. He was an intern last year, and here we are in preseason game number 3, and he's calling plays. Now, Arians will call the plays once the regular season starts, of course.
Of course, PA is actually going to start calling the plays next week, too.
Here's Kerwin Williams on the return, and Williams gets to about the 26-yard line. Leftwich is 37 years old. He's 18 days younger than Carson Palmer. They've known each other for a long time. They were in the same draft class in 2003. Palmer selected #1 overall by Cincinnati. Leftwich picked in the first round by Jacksonville.
I thought he did a great job last week being balanced, really running a balanced attack, running the ball, throwing the ball, also getting the ball out of Carson Palmer's hand quickly.
Penalty marker down. Here's Chris Johnson. There's a crease, and Johnson picks up about 5 to the 31. But again, a penalty marker on the field.
Don't know what the penalty is going to be here, David, but that's a play that you look at and you wonder whether or not Chris Johnson.
Offside defense, number 90, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's on Jonathan Bullard. Go ahead, Wolf.
This is going to be one of those plays they're going to look at and say, hey, does Chris Johnson still have the jets to get around that corner?
Yeah, because it looked like that crease was there, and maybe 3 years ago, that's a 75-yard run.
Just once again, don't know that to be the case. Just know that that's what they're evaluating, whether or not he still has that burst in the short area.
So 1st and 5. And Palmer's pass caught by Jerron Brown for a first down. Jerron Brown has had a history of making plays in preseason. The Cardinals are hoping, now that he's healthy after the ACL last year, that he finally can make them in the regular season. He has 55 career receptions.
Look at that, the old zero route. That's where you put the wide receiver out there. He takes 3 steps and just turns around. Another example of getting the ball out of Carson Palmer's hand quickly.
Here's Chris Johnson. Maybe 2. And you wonder how many 7-step drops are we going to see from Carson Palmer this year? Or is it going to be, and we're not going to see, look, they're not going to show all their stuff offensively, obviously, in the preseason, but how much are we going to see shotgun and get it out of your hand quick to keep Carson healthy and also take some pressure off your offensive line? They gave up 40 sacks last year to Palmer.
It's not just shotgun either, David. It's under center. I think that's where it's most effective. When you have your cue under center and yet boom, he pulls out and takes 1 step and the ball is gone.
Palmer hit as he throws, and it's knocked away from Larry Fitzgerald, incomplete. LeBlanc was there for the Bears. It's 3rd and 9.
Well, that's a great play by LeBlanc right there. You can see Carson Palmer getting a little pressure right in the face. Looked like that was DJ Humphries. And again, this is going to be an ongoing situation. DJ Humphries during the preseason hasn't got a lot of game action, hadn't had the silks on in a game. This is going to be a learning process for him.
Palmer to the air again on 3rd and long. And tried to dump it off to Chris Johnson, but again, the pocket collapsed on him. So the Cardinals have to kick it away.
Well, right now, the Chicago Bears, they've got to be really, really happy with the pressure they've got on Carson Palmer. That pocket was collapsing big time around Carson Palmer. It's just a 4-man rush from the Chicago Bears.
Eddie Jackson is deep, had a little trouble with the last punt. And this one goes out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 18-yard line. That's where Chicago will start when we come back. Your Arizona Ford dealers Kick to Win sweepstakes is back for the 2017 season. You could win a 2-year lease on a 2018 Ford F-150. Visit buyfordnow.com and stay tuned for info and registration details. Wolf, do you know what Mike Glennon's claim for fame was at North Carolina State?
No, I do not, David.
He's the guy that beat out Russell Wilson. They were battling for the starting position at North Carolina State. He beat him out. Wilson was playing some minor league baseball and going back and forth. He graduated, was a grad transfer, played the 1 year at Wisconsin, and then was a third round pick by Seattle, and the rest is history, of course. Cohen bottled up after a pickup of about 2 to the 20-yard line.
Well, 2 different types of quarterbacks right there, obviously, right? And Russell Wilson, guy's barely over 5'10".
And you get right. You got a guy that was almost 6'10", and then a guy who's 5'10".
You're looking at Mike Glennon and you're saying, man, you got a hose out there for an arm. I think it's all dependent on what kind of offense you wanted to run.
Here comes the Badger on 2nd and 8. He could not bring down Cohen, who breaks another tackle past the 40-yard line. It's a 25-yard run as Cohen is finally pushed out at the 45. And man, the Bears, as far as running backs, they've got an impressive stable. Again, we're not seeing Jordan Howard tonight. They got Jeremy Langford, and they got this kid, Tariq Cohen.
You can see it right here, getting covered up, right? Corey Peters got to do a better job on the backside right there. All they're doing is running the tackle zone. That's a hat-on-a-hat play side, build a wall backside, and Cohen once again kept it play side, and found that crease and hit the Jets.
Now Glennon will throw on 1st down. Going to take a shot here, and here comes a flag as Bethel was holding on to the wide receiver Meredith. That's an easy call.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 28, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Sometimes, David, you have to be able to just trust your God-given talent. And sometimes you have to believe that you can run stride for stride with any receiver out there, and you could see it. Justin Bethel did not need to hold in that situation.
He didn't get beat.
He did not need to hold the receiver, and it's plays like that that he's got to be able to eliminate going forward in 2017.
Not a good first quarter for the starting defense. Cohen running left. And gets smoked by Corey Peters and Frosty Rucker. Short game, 1 yard.
There it is again, the tackle zone. That's all the Bears have really run here, at least it seemed that way. The tackle zone, the stretch play. You get those offensive linemen, the butt guts, they come out of their stance and they start running. At least it seems that way, right? Running to the sideline. Trying to get a hat on a hat.
Fullback alert. Michael Burton is out there. And they boot the other way, and Glennon dumps it off to the tight end Deion Sims for a 1st down to the 36-yard line. 13-yard pickup. And Scooby Wright eventually on the tackle.
How about that? Big Mike Glennon. A tree. Throwing the ball down the field off of the boot action. You fake it one way, David. You come out on a little rollout. Hit the tight end on a drag. That's the 3rd play in the history of football they ever drew up.
But when they drew it up, it was not designed for Mike Glennon to run. It was designed for Russell Wilson to run, right? Cohen again, about 3 to the 33-yard line. Chandler Jones on the tackle. Jones coming off that terrific season, got the big contract, 11 sacks a year ago. Only 27 years old. And the Cardinals expect even bigger things this year out of Chandler Jones. 1 quarter in the books. Starting defense struggling, but they only gave up 3 points in that first frame. Preseason game number 3 for the Cardinals. 1 quarter in the books. 3-0 Chicago. Quarter is ready to start 15 minutes before halftime. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com today. The Bears offense on the move again. They have dominated time of possession, and look at the rushing yards for Chicago compared to the Arizona Cardinals here through 1 quarter. Glennon will throw in a flag down, and wide open for a 1st down inside the 25 and down to the 22 is Zach Miller. And again, a penalty marker on the snap.
Offside defense, number 44, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 1st down.
So that's on Marcus Golden, but declined because of the pass play to Zach Miller out of Nebraska, Omaha.
Well, the defense has looked a little cattywampus here, have they not? A little misaligned. Let's put it that way. Some mental errors. Being in the wrong gap, contained breakdowns, not playing very well here early in this one.
1st down on the Arizona 22. Cohen off the right side, and they just got a piece of him. That was enough to slow him down. Picks up 4 to the 18-yard line.
And missed tackles. to that as well. Once again, you've got to make that play. You look at the Chicago Bears have been doing this all game long. It's nothing but the tackle zone. That's all they keep running. And I wouldn't run anything else either. It's working. Whether it's right, left, doesn't matter. 2 tights, 3 tights, doesn't matter.
And it's the number 3 guy on their depth chart at running back, Cohen. Running left, and after bouncing it to the outside, gets shoved out. 1-yard gain. Tyrann Mathieu got him out of bounds.
You can also see the Chicago Bears using a fullback here, and I do believe, David, this is going to be a trend going forward in the National Football League. More and more teams actually using a fullback. I'm not just saying that either, David, because I played fullback.
I know.
I do believe the power game is going to come back because you have so many light defenders in the box. Linebackers that are 218 pounds. 3 techniques that are 285. I believe you're going to see a more north-south game come back.
Leonard on 3rd and 5 has a completion to Cunningham, the running back, for a first down. Linebacker Xavier Gooden in coverage, and so the Bears move the chains to the 11 of Arizona.
Yeah, how about this, Mike Leonard right here, right? I mean, all you got is the second route combination they ever drew up, that being a slant flat. The number 1 receiver runs a slant. The number 2 runs a flat. That's exactly what they did right there. That is the old West Coast offense. Bada bing, bada boom.
From the 11-yard line, inside run. An excellent play by Tyvon Branch, taking down Cunningham for no gain.
Oh, I love that play by Tyvon Branch coming from the backside, right? Watch Tyvon Branch come in here off the edge. That is a firm, strong tackle and a good heads-up play on the cutback.
10th NFL season for Branch out of UConn.
He can still run too, Tyvon Branch.
Lennon out of the gun here on 2nd and long. Lennon fires and it's picked off by the Badger. Lennon is chasing. Badger making moves, still going, lost the ball, but eventually fell on it. And the Cardinals have it in Chicago territory. The Badger is back.
And the Badger don't care. Look at him jump the out route. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes Mike Lennon. That is Tyrann Mathieu at his finest. Jumping the out route. Boy, that is so encouraging right there to see the Honey Badger not caring again and making plays.
Right, because when he doesn't care, he's at his best. 47-yard return for Tyrann Mathieu. First down on the 43 of the Bears. Play fake. Palmer dumps it off to Troy Nicholas, who had a touchdown catch last week. And Nicholas picks up 11 to the 32-yard line.
No, big Troy Nicholas. This guy's having a very good preseason, making plays as a stud tight end. Even that right there, a little dumb off. I would have liked to have seen him just run over the guy, just go north, right? Like a runaway freight train.
What did Mike Leach say, the former long snapper for the Cardinals? He said that he looks like a 10-year-old that swallowed a bear because he's got the baby face.
He does have a baby face.
Palmer taking a shot. Look out! Almost picked off. Eddie Jackson knocks it down. It was intended for J.J. Nelson, but the Bears were all over that.
Oh, that right there, the classic bash and bomb offense. Play action, throwing it down the field, but anytime you go with that play action, your quarterback's going to get hit. And that's one of the reasons why I think we're going to see the short game work more. The quick passing attack work more into the bash and bomb offense of Bruce Arians to get the ball out of Carson's hand quicker.
That was Leonard Floyd on the hit. Cardinals run it. Chris Johnson upended at the 28. 4 yards. We're talking, does Chris Johnson have the speed? He's got the numbers. He's number 3 among active running backs, over 9,500 yards. But injuries that derailed the last couple of seasons. They still have Andre Ellington. We haven't seen a ton of Ellington in preseason, but he's a guy not to count out because he's a game breaker. He may not get a ton of snaps, but he can take it to the house anytime he touches it. Question is, can Chris Johnson still do that?
Yes. Does he still have that wicked acceleration?
You're really hoping T.J. Logan would be a factor as well, but he's out because of injury. Palmer's pass complete. Close to the first down, and the ball's taken away, and the Bears are running it back. Here's LeBlanc being chased by Jerron Brown, who won't catch him. Touchdown, Chicago. Carson Palmer, incredulous, saying he's down. But the official was right there. It's ruled a fumble. Returned by Crayvon LeBlanc for a touchdown.
Wow, J.J. Nelson just running the out route. The ball right on. He catches the ball. He's down. Catches the ball and he's down.
Looks like he still has it securely against his chest. Now again, the ruling on the field though is a fumble, and you have to have 100% evidence, conclusive evidence, to overturn it.
I don't know how you don't look at that though and say that he did make a catch
And was down.
and then was down by contact before that ball came out.
For those of you unfamiliar with some of the new rules in the NFL, maybe the biggest change this year is how they're handling replay. All decisions now will come from New York. Al Riveron is in charge back in New York, and so instead of going into the hood, the referee has a tablet that will come out to him and greet him about 5 yards on the field. He'll look at the tablet. He'll be in discussion with New York, but ultimately the decision will come from New York. But I think this gets overturned and that J.J. Nelson is down.
Down and the ball comes out. You know, this is the one thing with J.J. Nelson, though, that he's got to improve on. It's ball security. There's a lot of contested balls in practice and training camp that you will see that J.J. Nelson does not come down with. You've got to come down with those balls, those 50-50 balls. You got to fight with them in ball security. And in this case, it's ball security. J.J.'s got to prove that he can catch the ball and secure that thing.
So what is that, Wolf? Is it concentration? Is it lack of strength?
You know, honestly, look, a lot of it can be bad luck as well. But to me, it's a lack of concentration. You have to know that you're in peril every time you catch the ball if you're J.J. Nelson.
After review, the ruling on the field is changed. The receiver catches the ball down by contact at the 22-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 22 for Arizona. And the clock is correct.
By the way, that was extremely efficient because when you have a change, you also have to look at where was the ball, and because the ball was close to the first down, they have to determine is it enough to move the chains. I mean, they actually did that pretty quickly.
Well, look at you, all effusive in your praise of the Zebras.
Sometimes replay takes forever, and that's one of the reasons why they made this change, because they can sit there and go back and forth like we do in the TV truck looking at replay and make a decision quickly. Before the referee even gets the tablet, sometimes they already maybe have a decision made. They just want to show them.
Interesting that the first team still out there for the Arizona Cardinals.
On the 22 of Chicago. Palmer with time trying to set up the screen to Chris Johnson. Johnson in trouble. And down he goes. A loss of 2 on the play. Wrapped up by Will Fuller. 2nd and 12.
Oh, they were so close right there.
Kyle Fuller, excuse me, I said Will. Kyle Fuller.
So close right there. Had a corner rolled up, playing corner half. They rolled it up to the side of the screen, and then we're playing quarters across the top. Right there, that is a great play.
You see another hit too on Palmer. Jonathan Bullard got a pretty good shot in on Carson. Palmer to throw again and gets hit again, but it's complete to Chris Johnson at the 20-yard line. 3-yard pickup. Jarrell Freeman drilled Carson.
The protection has been bad for Carson Palmer. This is a preseason game once again. I realize he's held onto the ball a long time, but Carson Palmer hit the deck again. This is the #1 story of the Arizona Cardinals in 2017, their ability to protect Carson Palmer.
Christian Jones with the lick on Palmer. 3rd down and 8. At the 20-yard line. Palmer gets rid of this one quickly to Ross for a 1st down. Ross inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal for the Cardinals at the 4.
Oh, I like this kid right here, Jeremy Ross. Look at this. Trips formation to the right of Carson Palmer. He saw the out, saw the zone being played. Eyes lit up, put the ball on time to Jeremy Ross. And then look at this guy right here. So thick from the waist down. Said, you know what, I'm not going to run out of bounds. I'm going to turn this thing back up and light somebody up.
And he got 7 more yards because of it. From the 4, 1st and goal. Chris Johnson straight ahead. Johnson pushing the pile, trying to get Pater. He lost the ball, it looks like. So they ruled that he was down by contact. He was trying to get into the end zone. And the Bears were trying to rip the ball out. But Johnson is ruled down at the 1, 2nd and goal.
Oh, great job by Chris Johnson, keeping his legs driving, right, trying to get that extra yardage.
He definitely was down. The question is, was he in the end zone?
I thought he was in.
I don't know if that knee was down. Because there wasn't a change of possession here, BA would have to challenge this, and the guys upstairs must be telling him not to do it. 2nd and goal on the 1. Here's a fade to Jerron Brown, incomplete. Kyle Fuller in coverage. 3rd and goal.
I like the idea right there. Try to get Jerron Brown out on an island, one-on-one. Throw it up for a fade. I mean, this is the area he's got to improve right here himself. Jerron Brown one-on-one on the outside. Ball just over his head. Not a horrific throw, obviously, by Carson, but not the best.
3rd and goal. Chris Johnson is the running back. He'll get it, and he gets leveled at the point of attack. Jonathan Bullard on the hit. Chris lost his lid on the play as well. 4th down. We'll see if the Cardinals go for it here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it right here, but again, they're trying to run over the right side, and the Chicago Bears just blew up the entire right side of the Arizona Cardinals offensive line. The offensive line here tonight got whipped, David.
Yeah, the left side struggled on that one as well. You're right about the right side, but the left side wasn't good either. 4th and goal on the 1. The Cardinals going for it here in the preseason. Palmer to pass. Fires end zone. It's caught by Gresham. Touchdown.
That's a great job by Carson Palmer right there. I think they wanted Chris Johnson in the flat. You can see Chris Johnson come underneath. I think they really wanted Johnson in the flat. And Jermaine Gresham just popped in the back of the end zone. And Carson did a great job of seeing Big Gresh and putting it on him.
I saw Gresham take the ball, throw it against the stanchion, and then kind of slam his helmet on the ground as if to say, okay, that was a frustrating first quarter and a half on both sides of the ball, but we've settled down maybe now. That will be the play he thinks to get them going. A touchdown pass, Palmer to Gresham, and the Cardinals take the lead. The Bears are about to score. Instead, Tyrann Mathieu with an interception, which sets up the Gresham touchdown catch. Cardinals scoring drive presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert. Santan Ford of the Cardinals. Team is what it takes. A lot of plays, over 43 yards in 5 minutes and 44 yards to get that touchdown pass. And for every Cardinals passing touchdown, Wells Fargo will donate $500 to local public schools for the Passing Touchdowns for Schools program. Wells Fargo, together will go far. Well, Carson Palmer, 2 touchdown passes in 2 preseason games. And Leone kicking off to Cunningham for the Bears. Not a great kickoff. But the Cardinals covered beautifully. And Cunningham tackled at the 19. Penalty marker down, though.
Once again, just a middle return from the Chicago Bears. The Cardinals do a great job right in the teeth of the football field, right down the hash marks. That's where the train wrecks happen, David.
And Wolf, I still think this is why you don't kick it through the end zone, because I mean, how many times do you see a guy running it out get it past the 25?
David, I'm telling you, I agree with you 100%, especially with Phil Dawson as your kicker who can directional kick outside those numbers, inside the 5.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 83, the returning team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Jeff Triplett always looks so perplexed when he's making a call. 7-3 Cardinals. Cardinals president Michael Bidwell on the left and general manager Steve Keim on the right. Steve coming off Achilles surgery, he announced this week. He's got a big cast on his leg, and he's got that scooter that he's going to have to use for 7 to 8 weeks.
Whoa.
Happened while he was at a D-backs game with Adrian Wilson. Thought he got hit by a foul ball. He just stood up. And it popped. Nothing there for Kerry Golden and Scooby Wright. All over it. Olsen Pierre, too. Good job of the Cardinals there. It's a loss of 4 on the play.
Watch the edge being set right here by Kareem Martin, 96. A great job by Kareem Martin setting that edge. It starts with the edge, and then you've got to honor your gap all the way across the board. But it started with Kareem Martin on that play.
So you got a few starters in, but a lot of second teamers as well on defense for the Cardinals right now. Glennon dumps it off. And wide open is Carey for a first down. Past the 20 to the 23. 18 yards. Brandon Williams out there in coverage. Second-year man out of Texas A&M, who was the starter opposite Patrick Peterson at the beginning of last year. Now he's just trying to make the roster.
Well, just miscommunication right here, right? The Cardinals trying to get that ball out, and receiver clearly down before that thing came out, but wide open. Miscommunication.
Play fake. Glennon rolling left. Underthrows it, and it's nearly intercepted. Tramon Williams, 34 years old. Seen him come down with that so many times in Green Bay.
That's one of those throws, though, by Mike Glennon that the Chicago Bears and John Fox are saying, what were you thinking, dude? What were you thinking on that? I mean, all interceptions are not created equal. There are some interceptions where coaches fully understand why that happened, and then there's some where they go, wow, did you even see the field?
Trying to set up a screen here. Carey catches it. Golden catches him right as the ball arrives. Now check that Cappy on the tackle. Good read by Cappy.
Cappy is a good football player, David. I don't know if he's going to make this team. I don't know if he's going to play in the NFL. But he is a smart, crafty, gutsy football player. And he shows up in practice as well.
He was on the practice squad last year. Well, right now the Cardinals really for sure have 3 outside linebackers. Chandler Jones, Kareem Martin, and Marcus Golden. They're hoping that Jarvis Jones would get healthy, but he hasn't been yet. 3rd and 15. Pass off target intended for Kevin White. The Bears will have to punt. And Glennon got drilled. Kareem Martin.
How about Kareem Martin coming from the backside? Oh, baby. Did a nice job pulling the head out of the equation. Did you see that? Big Kareem. Take the shoulder pad and stick it into the sternum.
Remember when he was drafted and people said this is Calais 2.0. This is another guy that looks like a basketball player playing defensive end. Well, he hasn't lived up to that kind of hype, but he's been a solid pro so far. Kerwin Williams backing up to his 21 on the return. And Williams does a nice job, but there's a penalty flag down. Williams got about 19 on that return.
Boy, I love that. Kerwin Williams right there. This is going to be a big story going forward as well. Can Kerwin Williams, can you put him back there on punt return?
during the kick, holding number 89 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
That's on Hakeem Valles. So that will negate the decent return for Kerwin Williams. This season, Sanderson Ford will recognize our servicemen and women through their Seats for Soldiers program. This week, we honor United States Navy Petty Officer First Class Christopher Kurz. For more, go to sandersonford.com. Dave Pash, Ron Wolfley, back here at University of Phoenix Stadium in our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. So Carson Palmer is done for the night, and Drew Stanton is in a quarterback 8-5 record as a starter after his win week 5 last year in San Francisco. First down on the 12, and here's Andre Ellington getting spilled in the backfield for a loss at 2. Now Stanton played really well last week against Oakland. He's passed every test, but maybe his greatest test was at dinner prior to the week 5 win at San Francisco last year. When Wolf and I are sitting there having a friendly conversation with Drew, I'm trying to take Drew's mind off the game by asking him what his favorite California cab is. And Wolf says, oh, what's San Francisco going to do tonight? Cover 2, or is it going to be cover 4? Or is it going to be cover 8? You got up and left, and Drew says, does he talk about anything but football?
It was a pregame meal. I mean, you know,
stressing him out.
Hopefully he's thinking about the game.
Stanton throws, and it was behind the intended receiver, Hubert, incomplete. Had a chance to catch it, though. Third down and long.
Yeah, you can see it right there. Chris Hubert running that deep in. Looked like Drew kind of stared him down a little bit. The ball thrown behind him, not a good throw. Got to be more accurate with a pick.
In all seriousness, though, he has handled everything that has been thrown at him. And when you have a record that's 3 games above 500 as a starting quarterback, and you're a backup, and you know you're a backup, pretty good record. Although when the Cardinals signed him initially, they thought he could be the starter. That pass off the mark there, and Stanton got hit as well, trying to hit Hubert again. So a quick 3 and out for the Arizona offense.
Once again, protection breakdown here for the Arizona Cardinals. Their quarterback getting hit an awful lot here tonight. That's going to be something. They'll go back and they'll look on the film and say unacceptable.
9 of 14 for Carson, despite getting hit 4 or 5 times. Matt Weil punting. That was up there a while. Jackson on the return into Cardinal territory. Tackled at the 43 of Arizona. Ifeanyi Moma with the special teams tackle. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the telecast, these are the 2 remaining charter members of the National Football League going back to 1920. Back then, of course, both teams were in Chicago. Here's a look at the 1947 Chicago Cardinal NFL championship team. Originally, it was Racine and Decatur. Then it became the Chicago Cardinals and the Chicago Bears. Of course, the Cardinals moved to St. Louis and then on to Arizona. Glennon throws to Kevin White, a former first-round draft pick who's only played a few games because of injury, and he gets about 4 yards. Can you guys show me that picture again? I could have sworn I saw a familiar face in that 1947. Is that you, Wolf, right there?
What? What are you talking about?
The guy right, that's your doppelganger.
Well, first of all, no, this is me right here, David.
Sure?
Of course, that's me.
No, that's your doppelganger. You're on the right. That's you on the right.
And you're talking about this guy?
Yeah, that's you.
There is no way.
You're too young to be that guy on the left.
Knock it off. You know what I like, though? I like this guy right here. Look at that. I mean, he's got the eye black on, right? Paint your face and scream, brother.
What are you doing on the left with Adrian Wilson's number? Why do you have A-Dub's number on? He's going to be upset when he finds out you did that. Well, if you haven't seen the new club member areas at University of Phoenix Stadium, you should. Wolf and I spent some time the other day there with Michael Bidwill and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. It is beautiful. They have a huge video board, which you just saw, a champagne bubble bar. Delicious menu items. If you want more information, call 602-379-0102. Robert Kimdichie tackles the ball carrier Benny Cunningham after a gain of 5 yards, and it's 3rd down for Chicago. Inside 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
What an impressive play right there at the point of attack by the Deech. Robert Kimdichie.
Looks like the Incredible Hulk. They're hoping he can play like that this year after being hurt for most of last year. Glennon throws, and the catch is made close to a first down. Ironhead Gallen, who's trying to make this team as an undrafted player, brings down Zach Miller, but it is a first down for the Bears.
All right, nothing like dialing up a little cover zero right there. Take the safety out of the middle of the field, go man across the board, and bring everybody after the cue. James Betcher dialed it up right there.
Bears have all their timeouts. Inside a minute to play in the first half. Play fake here for Glennon with time. And the pass is on target to Meredith for a first down to the 15. There's a penalty marker in the backfield. It's interesting the Bears sticking with their starters on offense the entire first half.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 43, defense, extra steps. That penalty will be administered from the end of the play, half the distance, automatic first down.
That's on first-round pick Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick. I'm trying to get a little Mike Glennon grease.
Boy, that
got there a little bit too late.
A little bit. It's like 6 steps.
I'm trying to give him a little benefit of the doubt, a little bit of grace. Right now, this guy has got to learn how to play in space. I'm talking about Hassan Reddick. He's got to learn to play in space. But man, he's got some moves coming off the edge that I haven't seen in a long time.
Naturally a pass rusher. They're trying to make him an inside linebacker. We will see him to rush the passer off the edge this year. First and goal. Glennon's pass tipped. Incomplete. Brandon Williams broke it up, intended for Meredith.
How about that, Brandon Williams? That's the way you play a little man cover right there. Fortunate not to get called for DPI with that right arm wrapped around the waist, but getting the left hand in front and batting the ball down. Make a play on the ball, Brandon Williams.
43 seconds to go in the half. Second and goal on the Cardinals 7. Here comes pressure up the middle. And Glennon has an open man. It's a touchdown for Kendall Wright. The Bears pick up the blitz and take the lead.
Cover zero. Dial it up. Bring everybody after Mike Glennon. The Bears do a good job. You can see here come the Huns. Man across the board. And it looked like Buda Baker was playing off coverage and actually picked up his man late. I think mentally, David, he wasn't sure who he was supposed to cover on that play. That is a rookie mistake, but I think it was more mental than it was physical.
And Kendall Wright, one of the fastest players in the league out of Baylor in his 6th NFL season. Connor Barth puts it through. And the Bears take a 10-7 lead. And the Cardinals do have all their timeouts remaining. Take a look at what's coming up at the half. We'll look in greater detail what makes DJ run. As Matthews will talk with BA and also highlights and stats from the first half. A lone touchdown for the Cardinals. Carson Palmer to Jermaine Gresham. Not as crisp offensively here tonight as we saw in the first 2 preseason games. And too many big plays surrendered on defense against the run.
Well, let's say the bonus so far, the plus has been the Badger. And the way that the Badger played here tonight. The negatives, I would have to say protection around Carson Palmer. The lack of running the ball and running it effectively.
I'll take that play by the Badger, Wolf, over the negatives, right? To know that he, if this is indeed a sign that he's back to being himself, right?
Yes, it is. At least defensively, it is the key to the Arizona Cardinals 2017 season, in my opinion. Also the rush defense here, I think that's a negative. When you think of how the Chicago Bears came out and were able to run the ball, in particular off one play, that being the tackle zone. I thought some tackling was a little bit spotty. There's a breakdown and contain once, I know for sure, with Chandler Jones.
I agree with you on Tyron's importance, though. You go back to 2 years ago, he was on his way maybe to winning defensive MVP, and he hurts his knee. The Cardinals lose in the NFC title game, and he never got 100% last year. Stanton looking deep, deflected and nearly intercepted. Christian Jones, a linebacker, almost picked it off, couldn't get his hands on it, and then the Bears almost got it on the ricochet.
Yeah, Drew Stanton should have never thrown that ball. A little late down the seam against cover 2. 2 safeties high, 5 across the board. And those corners were playing deep as well. Not a good decision, I think, by Drew Stanton.
30 seconds to go in the half. Second down. Stanton has to step up in the pocket. Penalty flag down. Oh, Stanton gets smoked back at the 15-yard line. He got sandwiched by 2 Bears. Jonathan Bullard was there first. But again, a penalty flag thrown near side about the 28-yard line. Downfield.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 23 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Kyle Fuller. Only gives the Cardinals a little bit of yardage, and the clock's at 24. Sam Acho, the former Cardinal, was in on the tackle and grabs the face mask of Drew Stanton right in front of the official. How do you miss that?
Sometimes you wonder, don't you?
Stanton, and incomplete, intended for Chad Williams. Boy, if Williams catches that, he might still be running. Rookie out of Grambling, 3rd-round draft pick. Been in and out of the lineup because of health.
I don't know, David. Looking at the replay right there, you have to wonder if that went through his fingertips, or you need a better throw from Drew Stanton. There's no doubt about that, but you got to go get that ball, too.
Stanton stepping up and taking off and dives head first. Clock's moving. The Cardinals will stop it with a timeout. 12 seconds to go. Again, there should have been a face mask penalty on Sam Acho, which would have put the ball around the 45-yard line.
It's got to be so weird for Bruce Arians, of course, not calling plays here. Byron Leftwich calling the plays tonight. BA will call them next week.
The card by Gila River gives you the power to play your way. Sign up at any Gila location. And next week we'll be in Atlanta at that brand new stadium where the Cardinals play the Falcons next Saturday night. Even though that's the 4th preseason game, the Cardinals will treat it like it's the 3rd preseason game, where the starters go into the second half on both sides of the ball. Stanton, a sliding catch made. They're going to say he was inbounds. The Cardinals got to call a timeout as Andre Ellington made the grab. So they stopped the clock with 5 seconds left. We've seen Phil Dawson in practice and in warm-ups make 65, 70-yarders. What do you think?
I know he'd love the shot, right? Love to have the opportunity to do it. Just don't know. You can run another out route, maybe pick up 6, 7 yards on a quick out. Give him the opportunity to do it. Or you can go ahead and take a shot down the field.
And you do have a timeout, too, so even if you catch it in play, just go down quickly. Well, obviously, you wouldn't be down unless there's contact, so you
could give yourself
you want to get
up
to the sideline or give yourself up, yes. Bears call a timeout. Talk about how to handle this. This is something you work on in practice, right? A lot of times, end of practice, okay, let's go ahead and work on the Hail Mary situations, or also situations where you may throw it to the sideline. How do you want to defend it? What are you looking for? You've got some young players out there on the defense, so how do you want to coach it?
BA knows. I guarantee you that much. Bruce Arians probably right now. Let's throw it up there. Let's throw it. Hail Mary. Let's just throw that thing up there. Throw it up there and throw it into the end zone.
And do you really want to waste a 60, 65-yard attempt from Phil Dawson in the preseason? They're going to throw it to the sideline. Ross on the catch, and he gets out. Is there time left? No. The clock says triple zeros, but the officials are going to discuss it here.
Well, BA's about ready to go triple zero himself.
There is 1 second remaining on the game. In the half.
All right.
1 second remaining in the half.
So they're going to bring on Phil Dawson now. Let's see. He went out about the 45-yard line of Chicago, so this would make it about a 62-yard try for Dawson. Actually, based on where Matt Weil is going to hold it, 63-yard attempt.
You know, Phil Dawson's loving this right here. I want to talk about a guy that's got ice water in the veins. Phil Dawson.
42 years old. Former college free agent in his 19th NFL season.
Chicago, their second, 30-second
I don't know
timeout.
if you can ice a guy that's 42. He's seen this so often. Nothing bothers the guy.
Nothing bothers the guy.
Number 10 in NFL history in made field goals.
I'm actually trying to get Phil to smear eye black on. Streak it.
I think
Why not?
Wolfie, I say he's number 10 in career field goals. I think if he played for anybody other than Cleveland, he might be number 6 or number 7. He probably would have had more attempts, but he spent all those years with the Browns when they were bad.
Right.
As if they were good other times.
This is a Lord of the Flies kicker right here.
By the way, Deontay Thompson for Chicago is hiding under the goalpost in case Dawson's kick is short. Can't see him in your picture. 63-yard try for Dawson. And it's going to be short, and Thompson can return it. Aaron Brewer, the long snapper, trying to tackle him. Thompson gets a block. Look out. Past the 50. Inside the 35. Oh, boy. Returned, missed field goal for a touchdown. 109 7/8 of a yard for Deontay Thompson. As time expires in the first half, the Bears get 6. I mean, that was as far back without stepping out of bounds as you can get.
Well, that's always the risk right there when you attempt those long field goals. You got your butt guts out there on the field. Extra point field goal protection. Your offensive linemen, they don't run very well. That's one of the reasons why you put a return man back on those long attempts.
(17-7) Bears at halftime. Deontay Thompson officially 109 yards on the missed field goal returned for a touchdown off a 62-yard attempt by Phil Dawson at the end of the half. Tyrann Mathieu with a big play with that interception, but the Cardinals down 10 at the break. Trail by 10 as we get ready to start the second half. Time to hear from the head coach Bruce Arians and Lisa Matthews.
Coach, not the way you want to end the half. What was your message to the team?
First 5 minutes of the third quarter, you set the tempo, reestablish. Obviously, preseason, you're going to try a long field goal. Just got to we're down there and make the tackle. And but other than that, I didn't like the way we started the game on offense or defense. Hopefully, we'll pick it up in the third quarter.
Offensive line a little up and down. What are you seeing from the protection?
You know, Carson was holding the ball way too long. You know, he was going 3-4 back to 3. Get rid of the ball. They protected pretty well.
Thanks, Coach. Guys, back to you.
That's interesting. And, Wolf, you mentioned that a couple times that you thought Carson held onto the ball a little bit too long. So I'm sure VA will look at the tape. Maybe his opinion will change. We'll see. You look at the numbers in that first half, and obviously look at the bottom, return yards. 109 out of the 167 for Chicago on that final play. Deontay Thompson, the touchdown, and the missed field goal try by Phil Dawson.
I really don't like the rushing yards right there. The Bears at 76, the Cardinals at 17. You can see here's the field goal attempt at the end. You can see Aaron Brewer does a nice job right there, actually trying to get a piece, but now you're in trouble because they set up the wall and you got the butt guts running out there on the field, and those guys do not do well in space.
Carson Palmer with a touchdown pass for the second time in 2 games. And you mentioned the struggles in the run game. 17 yards rushing, as you said, on 9 carries. So less than 2 yards of pop. There's Carson's numbers throwing the football.
Yeah, I thought the offensive line, especially the first unit there, did not do a good enough job of getting movement at the point. Their running schemes, whether it was a zone scheme, whether it was the power scheme, the gap scheme, didn't matter. They were not getting any movement. They were not opening up any holes, I thought, for the running backs, and got whipped at the point of attack, frankly.
Wolf, look who's kicking off. Roberto Aguayo, 2nd-round pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, released recently. Of course, everyone that saw Hard Knocks knows all about Roberto Aguayo and how he was released by general manager Jason Light. The Bears quickly pick him up, and they're hoping that the past is behind him. He's got an incredibly strong leg. It's on display there as Ross takes a knee, but he missed way too many field goals in Tampa Bay, especially for a guy that the Buccaneers traded up for and picked so high. Speaking of getting drafted high, here's Blaine Gabbert, 1st-round draft pick of Jacksonville. Things didn't work out there, so he went to San Francisco, and now he's with Arizona. 7th NFL season, on his 7th offensive coordinator. But he's played well so far in camp, and I think the Cardinals see a guy that they can shape. Now that they have him in the system, I'd be surprised if he's not on the 53-man roster.
I would agree with that. I think they're going to keep 3.
Palmer, Stanton, and Gabbert. First down with the Cardinals on their 25. Here's Andre Ellington trying to find a hole. It's not there. Struggles in the run game in the first half and to start the second half with former Cardinal Sam Acho in the backfield making the hits.
Yeah, run down blitz by the Chicago Bears. They've been very, very aggressive in run down here tonight. But also it's just about getting movement at the point of attack. These offensive linemen have got to do a better job. I'm sure Harold Goodwin's going to have an awful lot to say to him, whether it was the first team or the second team after this game.
Draw play, Ellington past the 25 and up to the 29, got about 5 yards. I want to go back to the guy that made the tackle on that last play, Sam Acho. You know, the Cardinals have had a lot of great guys come through here. He's right at the top of the list in terms of a guy that's so involved in his community. He's a great guy in the locker room. Wasn't a 1st-round draft pick, maybe not the most talented guy in the league, but the guy you love to have on your team.
And Sammy and company built a hospital in Nigeria. Think about that for a minute.
Goes over there every year. Very involved. He and his brother Emmanuel. There's Chad Williams on the catch and a first down. That's a good sign. Rookie out of Grambling, 3rd-round pick. Been dealing with some shin splints in camp.
Hey, how about that? That's what you want to see right there. You run the out route against a quarter zone, 4 deep, 3 underneath. That's the weak spot of that. The out route. He caught the ball in time. I dipped the shoulder a little bit more, though, Chad Williams.
First player from Grambling picked that high in 11 years. Here's Ifeanyi Moma on the catch. Breaking tackles. Cardinals are trying to find that number 3 tight end. They've got Gresham and Nicholas, assuming he's healthy. Maybe Moma can be the guy. He was hurt for a good part of last year.
Oh, I love this right here. Once again, the ascension of the tight end in this offense, especially with the quick passing game. Watch this. Ifeanyi Moma right here, just sitting down right over the ball. Little sit route. You put it on him, get the ball out of the hand. Look at Ifeanyi Moma, looking like Jim Brown running the ball.
Here's a quick pass to Hubert. Able to juke a guy at the line of scrimmage and get about 8 yards down to the 36-yard line.
Boy, Chris Hubert, he no bigger than a he cup, as my coach used to say. That is one diminutive dude. He can't flat out fly, though.
He had B.W. Webb. Do you see B.W. Webb out there?
B.W. Webb, yeah, I saw him.
Hubert caught the pass, and Webb's like, oh, boy, I got to try to catch this guy. out in space here.
He's no bigger than a popcorn fart.
They do the same thing. And Hubert has the first down before Webb gets into the ground at the 27-yard line. 9 more yards for Chris Hubert.
Well, that's what you're going to do, right? There it is, the hootie-hoo. Blaine Gabbert said, wait a minute, that worked one time. What do you say we come back to you, Chris? See if you can make the guy miss again. That's exactly what he did.
Out of Fayetteville State, Chris Hubert. Going to be hard to make the 53-man roster with all the receivers they have here, but maybe elsewhere.
See if they go for the triumvirate.
They got Andre Ellington wide, bottom of your screen here on Webb. Gabbert with time. And a flag down. He was going for Hubert on the other side of the field deep, but he got held up by the corner, LeBlanc.
Well, the protection has improved.
Illegal contact. Number 22, the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
LeBlanc has struggled with that all night long. You can see all the takeoff right there from Chris Hubert. Did you see it, David? That's where you run about 10 or 12 yards and you boom, 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 you chop them up like you're going to run the 4. The curl route, like you're going to come back to the ball, and then boom, you hit the gas over the top. The dreaded takeoff.
So first down on the 22 of Chicago. Gabbert to the air again. Looking for Hubert again. Incomplete. Gabbert's feeding him. He's trying to hit him. That one was off the mark with LeBlanc in coverage.
Once again, good protection right here. You can see Chris Hubert. He's going to go ahead and run. He's going to stretch it to the outside and then turn it back inside on the seam. Gabbert has eyes for Chris Hubert.
Yeah, the Cardinals are going to keep 6. Obviously, Fitz, John Brown, Jerron Brown, J.J. Nelson. We assume Chad Williams, and then does Britton Golden, who's hurt tonight, make the roster as that 6th receiver. Andre Ellington, great move to the inside, down to about the 16. We're talking about in the first half. He can make things happen with the ball in his hand. Last year, the coaches felt he went down too easily a year ago.
Now watch this. It's going to be coming right into your grill right there. What a nice cut up the field. Make that north-south cut. That's what Andre Ellington and backs like him forget to do so much of the time. And Chris Johnson is very, very good at it. Take that north-south cut, what the defense gives you, dip it and rip it. Be okay doing that because it will open up opportunities later in the game.
Gabbert on 3rd and 4. Ross on the catch and close to a first down. Looks like he's got it. Shoved out at the 11. He needed to get to the 12. We talked about that lower body strength of Jeremy Ross. And he used it there to muscle his way past the line to gain.
Yeah, watch Jeremy Ross. He just heads for the flat right now. Gabbert puts it on him, and look at that low center of gravity. Does a great job keeping his feet still in bounds. I mean, that is, you go ahead and you put a garbage can on rollers, and that's Jeremy Ross from the waist down. You try to tackle it.
Really looks a lot body type like Anquan Bolden when he was here. Gabbert to Ellington. Down to the 6-yard line. It seems like Andre Ellington's been in the NFL for a decade, but it was 2013 when he was drafted, 6th round, and then he was so good the Cardinals said, hey, we're going to center our offense on him, but then he couldn't stay healthy. And then David Johnson came along, and Ellington now just fighting for a spot on the team.
It's a well-executed play right there. Look at Velez getting out front, making a block, right? Ifeani Moma. Boy, Ifeani Moma has really, really impressed me here in preseason. That's been the way that it's been the last few preseasons.
Pitch to Ellington on 2nd and 5. Flag down, and so is Ellington after a gain of 2. You think the Cardinals keep 3 tight ends or 4?
Holding, number 71, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It's Caleb Johnson. We were talking about MoMA earlier. You think Cardinals try to keep 4 as often as they use 2 tight ends?
Absolutely. I think they almost have to keep 4 if you want to go with 12 personnel as much. You can see right here, holding being called on the backside away from the play. It's the one thing you never want to see. It's such a lazy call on the backside away from a play to be called for holding. It's Cardinal rule number one, Cardinal sin number one. Can't do it on the backside.
Gabbert on 2nd and 15. A frozen rope to Hubert, who breaks a tackle and gets down to the 3-yard line. Hubert is having himself an impressive third quarter.
Look at Blaine Gabbert. Looking for Chris Hubert out there. Running the slant, David. Watch this. 3 steps up. You run the flat underneath it. It's a combination that has existed from day one in the National Football League. The slant, flat. Chris Hubert goes up to get the ball. Smallest guy on the field.
Now the Cardinals face with a 3rd and 3. They got a chunk of it back after that holding call in the previous play. Gabbert with time now. Steps up and runs. He's a terrific athlete, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. I really think you give Blaine Gabbert at age 27 a year to learn this system and get comfortable with it. The guy to keep an eye on for the future at that position for the Cardinals.
Now you can see right here the Jets from Blaine Gabbert. Boy, that guy is a much better athlete than most people give him credit for. He's got that ability to pull the ball down and run, and I will say that has also been a nemesis of his over the years.
Dawson with the extra point.
Many times you'd see Blaine Gabbert go ahead, and if his read wasn't there, he'd pull it down and start running immediately. This time, it was a wise choice. They got the Cardinals on the board with a touch.
Santan Ford's scoring drive. Gabbert throws for 66 yards and runs for 4 and a touchdown. What were you laughing at, by the way, during the commercial?
Well, I was just looking at that shot we had. The 3 of Carson Palmer, the 5 of Drew Stanton, and the 7 of Blaine Gabbert, of course. The 357 room. A 357 Magnum right there.
Well, all 3 of them, each of them with a quarterback rating over 100 coming into tonight in preseason through 2 games. Going to be a touchback. The Bears will start on the 25. When we come back, we'll see if Wolf can find some new jokes when we return. Tonight's Power Performance presented by SRP, delivering more than power. Blaine Gabbert on that last drive, 7 of 8 passing, and then a 4-yard rushing touchdown.
Well, he's been impressive all preseason and in training camp. This is a good decision to pull the ball down, especially when you've got that kind of athleticism.
Well, you never know when that next chance will be the best chance for Gabbert to turn into a solid NFL quarterback. Mark Sanchez, when he signed with Chicago, was hoping that this would be his opportunity as Carey gets the first down running the ball, but there's a flag down. Sanchez is in the game at quarterback now for Chicago, but obviously they got Mike Glenn and then they drafted Mitch Trubisky, so it's going to be tough for Sanchez to crack the starting lineup. But
number 87 offense.
Sanchez won a lot of games with the Jets, but just didn't have the talent to keep that job. He spent some time in Philly, then Dallas, and now with the Bears.
Mark Sanchez is a classic example of there are no guarantees in the National Football League. You just don't know about anybody, and in particular, I would say quarterbacks. The definition of a franchise quarterback in Mark Sanchez's career has changed. When he came in, everyone looked at Mark Sanchez, thought he was going to be franchised. The definition has changed.
That pass on the money, caught by Titus Davis. They get a big chunk of it back on 1st and 20, picking up 14 yards. Sanchez played at USC. Like Matt Leinart, had so much talent around him that it was very hard to evaluate whether he could do the same thing at the NFL level.
Absolutely. He had success early in his career.
Won a lot of games with the Jets.
With
Playoff
the Jets.
games.
Yeah, went to AFC Championship games.
2nd and 6 for the Bears on the 29. Play fake for Sanchez. and getting the first down after sliding to the ground is rookie Adam Shaheen, their second-round pick out of Ashland.
Boy, the Bears have done this all night long. They've run the tackle zone, run it very, very well. In the counter that comes off it, that being the bootleg.
He stretched out for the first down, but he was like 3 yards short.
Well, he was. Give him some credit.
No.
Kids out there fighting.
No, it was just funny how it looked. It was just awkward. Here's Carey. He gets drilled to the ground by Tremont Williams. Pickup of a couple.
Boy, how about that? Tremont Williams coming up. Putting a lick on Carey right there.
Now, Tremont Williams was with Cleveland last year, but all those years in Green Bay, Cardinals bring him in, hoping that if he doesn't win the job opposite Patrick Peterson, he's in the mix on Sundays, at least, to get some playing time. Gallen makes the tackle on Cunningham. Short gain, maybe a yard. Third down coming up for the Bears.
Let's see if James Betcher dials it up right here.
He did in the first half. Keep an eye on number 72 right over the ball, Olsen Pierre. Sanchez has trouble with it, and he's taken down for a sack. It's Kareem Martin. That never had a chance.
All right, nothing special there. A four-man rush by the Arizona Cardinals. And you watch Kareem Martin just come around the edge. Mark Sanchez puts a ball on the ground. It was a horrific snap. You really can't blame Sanchez. That was no butt fumble.
That never got played, did it? A butt fumble? I don't know that I've actually ever seen that, right? It was never aired by anybody?
No. You saw it.
It was in the archives and put on the shelf, right? Jeremy Ross on the return out to the 17-yard line. Hopefully that video's been retired. We saw it enough. All right, Chandler Jones will join Lisa Matthews and we come back. Cardinals down 3.
Welcome back, everyone. Lisa Matthews here alongside Chandler Jones. Now year 2 as a Cardinal. How do you feel coming in?
It feels great. I feel a lot more comfortable, but I feel like I can be more of a leader, but it feels good going into my second year.
I know that you shed some weight to improve your quickness in this scheme. Have you seen the benefits of that so far?
Definitely. You know, as being an outside linebacker, you have to drop in coverage more. So, you know, I lost about 10 pounds, so I'm able to drop backwards and forward. So I'm excited. So hopefully I can be called a true outside linebacker instead of a defensive end now.
What did you do to lose that weight?
You know, I trained. I was in training camp with my brother John. Before training camp, I was in training camp. So it sounds kind of funny, but we were doing 3 days, and we're doing a lot of work. I was eating healthier, so it feels good, and I feel great.
11 sacks, 4 forced fumbles last season. What's the potential for you this year?
You know what? I get that question a lot. People always ask me, what do I want to do? What are my goals? But my biggest goal is just to do better than I did last year. So anything better than that, that's what I want to do.
Some key pieces to this defense lost in the offseason, but what do you see for the potential of this defense to dominate?
Yeah, you know, I get that question a lot as well. And you know, Calais was a huge loss to our defense, you know. But I'm excited about the younger guys that are coming in. You got Robert Condici, Rodney Guntner, Olsen Pierre. These guys are having a great camp, and I'm excited to see these guys develop for their second and third year in the league.
Throughout training camp, you've been in charge of the AZ Cardinals Snapchat. You bring a lot of personality on and off the field. Has that always been a part of who you are and what you bring to a team?
Yeah, you know, I feel like my forte, besides football, is just bringing guys together. And each and every day I try to just bring the fun out of training camp. You know, it's a grind, and guys can get tired of looking at each other. So I try to bring a lot of fun into the Snapchat game. So make sure you guys follow Snapchat on the Cardinals at SnapAZ Cardinals.
All right, thanks, Chandler. Guys, back to you.
Chandler, very smart, a future broadcaster. Of course, he attended the Harvard of Central New York, Syracuse University. Gabbert in trouble and sacked. How about in training, though, with his brother, John, who is an MMA star? Wolf, why don't you get in there and work a little bit with Chandler on some of that?
You know, my brother didn't want to teach me any MMA moves when I was younger. What was it?
MMA.
MMA. What did I say? Did I say MAA?
Yeah.
He didn't want to teach me that either. When I was younger, David, I had a temper problem, I would say, maybe. And
Really?
Oh, absolutely. It served me well on the field from time to time. But he just didn't want to teach me anything that could put me in jail.
Sometimes in a smoke-filled establishment in a late night, it'd serve you well also in your bouncing days. Eddie Jackson wrapped up at the 34-yard line. It's true your brother Craig Wolfley, former Steeler, teaches MMA, right?
Oh, yeah, full contact.
So let's get him and you against Chandler and John Jones. Steel cage, 2-on-2. Today, after every Cardinals win, get 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Use promo code Cardinals50 at papajohns.com. Well, last year, Wolf, when I called the North Carolina game, his name was Mitch Trubisky. But when you're the #2 pick in the draft and you're going to make all this money, you need a more distinguished name. So now he's Mitchell Trubisky. One-year starter in North Carolina, but man, did he look good in their first preseason game against Denver.
Well, if I was his coach, I'd call him Mitch, since he wants to be called Mitchell.
Hands it off here on first down, and Carey drilled after a gain of 2. Trayvon Johnson on the tackle. Trubisky last week, he struggled a little bit early in camp with snaps, taking him from under center because he's used to the shotgun like he had in college. But he's got arm talent, no doubt. Good athlete.
There are some people who actually compare Mitchell Trubisky's arm to that of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we were hearing that down on the field before the game.
I'm not one of them. Not yet.
But this came from the Bears, this little nugget. Oh, Trubisky almost got his helmet ripped off by Olsen Pierre. That's a penalty.
Oh, Olsen Pierre. Here's a guy that is my breakout player in training camp for the Arizona Cardinals this year. I know he's been around on the roster for a couple of years, but this guy, they're not going to be able to keep him on the bench.
Face mask, number 72, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Was on the 53-man roster last year, the entire season.
Just look at him. He beats his man very cleanly. Did get a hold of that face mask of Mitchell Trubisky. Can't have it. Good call by the officials.
Ooh.
But that was a nice play by Olsen Pierre to get the sack. Just can't get a penalty with it.
They didn't want to cut him last year because they thought he would not clear waivers. They would not be able to get Pierre to the practice squad. Trubisky's pass is caught at the 42-yard line for a gain of about 8. So they decided to keep Pierre on the active roster, knowing that he probably wouldn't play all year. So he essentially redshirted. But as you said, he's taken another step this year.
What's incredible about that story last year is on a 34 defense, a 3-4 defense, the Cardinals kept 9 defensive linemen. That is unheard of.
3 deep.
Yes, 9 defensive linemen.
Carey lifted up and dropped by Xavier Williams. Trayvon Johnson in there as well. You got a lost lid. It's Cap Cappy who lost his helmet on the play. First down for the Bears.
Now check this out right here. You got Carey, and they're coming in, making a nice play as Johnson. Look at the blood farming going on right there. Did you see Johnson take the hat, stick it right on the ball? You have no idea the way that hurts.
This is the end of the third quarter.
Oh, the third quarter is over. What does that mean? What's coming up?
The witching hour. Here it is.
Fourth quarter of the preseason. Game number 3 for the Cardinals is coming up. Bears in front by 3.
Telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Dave Pascheron, Wolfley, Lisa Matthews back at University of Phoenix Stadium. Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears on the move. First down at the Cardinal 39. And Trubisky airing it out. And that pass was on the money, but broken up. A flag is thrown, though. Brandon Williams and Tanner Gentry battling for the football. That pass looked like it was there, and I think it was Gentry that pushed off.
Boy, that is a great play by Brandon Williams right there. Brandon Williams lined up, playing man on the fade, looking for the ball.
Offense, number 19. 10-yard penalties. Repeat first down.
Watch this right here. Press man running down, and now watch for him. Look at him look for the ball. Make a play on the ball, Brandon Williams. That is a little bit of growth right there from 2-6.
Something he was struggling to do last year. Remember, he barely played corner in college. He was mainly a running back in Texas A&M. Here's Joshua Rounds, dumped at the 45, a 4-yard run. Brandon Williams, there was a lot of pressure on him last year because he was a third-round pick, and all of a sudden he's looked at as a guy that could be the starting cornerback opposite Patrick Peterson, which means you're going to be busy on Sunday. And he was, and he made a lot of mistakes, struggled, but coaching staff is hoping that not only will he make this roster, but have an impact this year just in a different role. 2nd and 16 for the Bears. Trubisky able to complete the pass to Gentry down to the 32, so a gain of about 13 on the play. So among our players to watch, we feature here Brandon Williams. You talked about being better, Wolf, at looking for the football, improved ball skills.
No doubt about it. I mean, that was one of the things last year that Brandon Williams would not do. Look for the ball. Here's a guy that excels in press man, walking up over the receiver and putting his hands on him, playing press man, but he's got to learn to look for the ball more, and we've seen that from him this preseason.
Trubisky on 3rd down and 4. And the catch is made for a first down. Daniel Brown, the tight end. What do you think so far, Trubisky?
Yeah, I like that throw right there, right? A little low, maybe. Nice job by Brown, the tight end, going down and getting that thing, working one-on-one against Ironhead. That was a nice catch, but yeah, Mitchell Trubisky getting the ball out a little bit here on time. Little rhythm and time. A lot of times you don't see a quarterback that young with rhythm and timing patterns.
And again, he's under center, something he didn't do in college at all. Play action here for Trubisky. Shows off the arm strength, but the pass too high. Brandon Williams in coverage again. Davis, the intended wideout.
Well, I like that again. There's Brandon Williams playing man, making a play on the ball, looking for the ball. Look at him. Look at Brandon Williams looking for the ball right there. That is maturation, man. Baby steps for 2-6.
Got to keep his hands off of the receiver, though.
Well, you know what? I don't know a corner that isn't handsy.
Run play Rounds on 2nd and 10. Good balance by Rounds, able to bounce off of Tramon Williams, who made the initial hit, pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, you just can't have that right there. You got to come up, you got to make that tackle. Can't try to cut his legs out. Tramon Williams knows better. You got to wrap those arms. And again, I know he's a corner, and don't look at your corners to be great tacklers. But the fundamentals, you can't ever forget those.
If you're a Bears fan, you're watching here in a 3rd down situation, out of the shotgun where Trubisky is most comfortable. Can he keep the drive alive? Instead, he's sacked. There are 3 Cardinals back there. Alex Bazzi among them for Arizona. Anu and Waugh were also in the backfield for Arizona.
Well, you play man free. You keep a safety in the middle of the field. You play man across the board. And James Betcher brought 6. Look at the 2 inside linebackers coming up the middle.
And now Roberto Aguayo, who the Bears just picked up after the Buccaneers released the former 2nd-round pick, on for a 49-yard attempt, and this one did not look good coming off his foot, and it's no good. So the problems continue for Roberto Aguayo. The Cardinals will take it. Brandon Williams with a nice series at corner for the Cards. We're back in our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by our Arizona Ford dealers. Dave Pasch and Ron Wolfley. Would that kick by Aguayo qualify as a witching hour moment?
Yeah, there's no doubt. You're going to look at that. How does a guy that was drafted in the second round, has all that talent, released, and then suddenly it just looks like he doesn't even know how to kick the football? And of course, that was one of the reasons why he was released. But man, a guy with that kind of talent.
Gabbert throws a dart to Hubert for a first down into Bear territory, pickup of about 15 yards.
You have no idea how good this throw was from Blaine Gabbert right here. Oh my goodness. A laser beam to Chris Hubert again on the out route. Did you see that ball, David? That thing came out of the pocket and out of Blaine Gabbert's hand like it was the 5th P of a 4P pop.
And I'm sure people will say, it's against the second team defense or whatever, but it's better than the alternative. It's
that
better
throw wasn't.
No, exactly. Gabbert hands it off here. Elijah Penny is trying to make the roster after being a practice squad guy last year. Brings a change of pace because he's a big guy, 230, 240 pounds, depending on what week it is, because he loses weight and he puts it back on.
See, this is nice. I love it every time we bring Elijah Penny into a game, because now all of a sudden, here it comes, baby. The butt guts are going to get a little greasy here. There's going to be a little bit of blood. The meat grinder's going to get fired up in between the tackles.
There it is again. There's some fur flying there, Wolf.
There's some fur.
No gain.
Yeah, there's a little fur flying right there. You can see it if you look closely. The eyebrows were shaved of Elijah Penny. Might want to button up that chin strap there, because they're not done. I think Blaine Gabbert right here is operating. They pick up this first down, they might run Elijah Penny 3 or 4 consecutive times.
Cardinals have their 2 rookie offensive linemen in the game. Dorian Johnson out of Pitt, Will Holden out of Vanderbilt. 3rd down and 8. Gabbert, his arm got hit, and that nearly got picked off. Roy Robertson Harris got a piece of Blaine Gabbert's arm, and that's why he nearly threw the interception. 4th down.
Oh, you hate to see this right here. The Bears only rush 3. They only rush 3 guys. They drop 8. I mean, you can't have that kind of pressure on your cue if you're only going to rush 3.
Daniel Braverman is the deep man. Again, the punting job up in the air while hoping to win the job. And he does his job right here. That's to the 10-yard line. Take that, right?
The punting has been excellent all night. You know, I was saying, David, you need 45 and 4.5. The punting here tonight for the Arizona Cardinals has been spot on. That's a bonus.
Matthews is standing by with the starting left tackle for the Cardinals.
DJ finally getting some action here tonight. How did it feel?
Man, it felt good. Getting to shake a little bit of dust off. You know, this is my first time back on the field with the guys, man. It felt so good to hit somebody other than Chandler and Marcus, man. It felt so good.
Going back to your natural position, what was that transition like for you?
It was different. You know what I mean? I kind of got settled in on the right side to now switching back to the left, and I feel like it's coming along well for me. You know what I mean? Slowly but surely, I'm progressing and trying to make myself a staple on this offensive line.
Chemistry is so important on the offensive line. How do you feel like you guys are gelling so far?
I feel like we're gelling good, man. We got a group of guys that all really care about each other, that all really want to see everybody do good in the group, you know what I mean? From the starting 5 down to the 3s, man, we support those guys so hard in practicing. We're watching those guys that we're getting mental reps in practice, making sure they're doing everything like they're supposed to, and I think that's a big deal when we're holding those guys just as much as accountable as we are. So,
what is it like just knowing that your job, your #1 job, is to protect Carson Palmer?
Hey, that's a big deal. Because you keep him clean, man, beautiful things happen with that guy. You keep him clean, it's going to be a good show.
And your baby boy is here in the stands, just a few rows up. What is it like for you to watch him here?
Oh, this is his first game, man, and I got him a Humphreys jersey and everything, man. It was big for me, you know what I mean? He changed my life, man. That's my life changer right there for sure. And I'm so happy that he's here, and I'm so happy that he get to be a part of it and watch me work for him, you know what I mean? So that's a big deal for me.
Thanks, DJ. Guys, back to you.
DJ Humphries did start 3 games at left tackle last year when Jared Beldier was injured. Now he's the full-time guy at left tackle as the Bears have a 3rd and 13. We're going to show you what Budda Baker did a little bit later on that last play. It was pretty sick. Screen pass, Rounds out in space, past the 15. And close to the first down. Looks like he has it Penalty flag is down in the end zone at the feet of the quarterback, which is not a good sign.
Roughing the passer, number 63 on the defense. Low into the quarterback's legs. 15 yards penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
That's on anew. There's an increased emphasis on low hits to the quarterback, even if they're not with forcible contact.
Yeah, you could see that he was staggering right there. That's a good call by Jeff Triplett. The correct call, the only call he could make. Got to keep your feet in that situation.
So a fresh set of downs now for Chicago on the 35. And run rounds. Turn back inside, nowhere to go. So let's go back a couple plays earlier when DJ was talking to Lisa. Just watch Budda Baker's reaction here after the tackle. Watch this. Left side of your screen. That's hard to do.
He did that. David, he did that. That's called a kip, right? A kip off. And he did it with no hands. Did you see the hand? He didn't do it with his hands.
And he's on his back. And he's wearing full pads.
What was that?
We got to show that again.
Oh, that is a Sasquatch sighting.
That's SportsCenter top 10. Penalty marker, Trubisky, incomplete. Can we run that back one more time? I got to see that again.
That's a kip-up. That's what we called it. But watch, there's no hands. He didn't use his hands. Look at where his hands are.
His back.
He did it off his back.
That's crazy.
What?
Dude, try that. Just try it right now, Wolf.
Oh, my goodness, David, are you kidding me right now? My spleen would fly out my sternum.
It's all right. Doc Maynard, the chiropractor, is down on the field. We can get him up here if we need to.
I cannot believe the dude can do a kip without using his hands.
That was freakish. He's done a lot of freakish things in camp, Budda Baker.
Hey, he made a nice play before the kip up.
Offside was the call, by the way, on that last play. We were so enamored with the play from 4 minutes ago. Rounds picked up, dropped at the 38, 1-yard gain.
There's some boys out there balling right now. Some guys actually laying the lumber. You're hearing the pads pop. This is the witching hour, baby, right here, man. The fourth quarter that's going on. Double, toil and trouble. Fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. Kip-ups left and right. Aguayo missing the ball. Pads getting popped. Let him ride, baby.
3rd and 7, Trubisky gets hit, and it is tipped and intercepted. Brandon Williams, and now they're saying the ball hit the ground. It's incomplete, and he did not come up with it.
Well, that would have been a total witching hour pick right there by Brandon Williams. Watch this. Late on the throw. How late can you be, Mitchell Trubisky? Late on the throw on the out. Don't ever be late on the throw on the out. And Brandon Williams missed that twice.
Yeah,
not once, but twice. But look, he's looking for the ball. He's looking for the ball, and that is a plus. Way to go, Brandon Williams. Look for the ball.
Cardinals call a timeout. I think they only had 10 guys on the field. That's why they called a timeout there.
Well, that's...
Yeah, Cappy just ran out of the field as the 11th guy. They've had issues on special teams. Remember, at the end of the first half, they gave up a 109-yard missed field goal returned for a touchdown.
Well, a classic witching hour move right there, too. 10 men on the field. Where's the 11th? Guys over there drinking water. Man, did you see me make that play right there? Oh, dude, I lit up this one guy. I lit him up so bad. You should have seen me. Just destroyed him, squashed him like he was a November pumpkin. All of a sudden, you're supposed to be out on the field.
So that's happened to you before, is what you're saying.
A time or two.
You seem pretty well versed in that.
Well, you got to remember, these young guys now, they're going to be over there talking to the other young guys, letting them know. You see me wipe that dude out, I guarantee you, I picked his nose for him.
Wolf and I got to be part of something really cool at University of Phoenix Stadium with the club seat holders the other day, a Roger Goodell fan forum where Michael Bidwill, the president of the Arizona Cardinals, invited Commissioner Goodell. Both of them spoke. They answered every question. I mean, Commissioner, give him credit. There were some tough questions from the crowd, including about head injuries, safety issues, suspension issues, player personal conduct issues, and he answered every single question.
Yes, he did.
Almost a pick thrown by Blaine Gabbert, but it's incomplete. Thankfully, John Timu stepped in front of that.
Of course, as you know, David, Roger Goodell, my homeboy, from Jamestown, New York, Western New York. I mean, Jamestown is an hour and a half from Orchard Park, New York. Maybe an hour. My homeboy. But he was kind of staring me down, too, like he was part of the fullback club or something.
I think he was just thinking about other things because you were boring him with your high school football stories. Gabbert to the sideline to Krishawn Hogan on the catch and a first down. A gain of about 12 on the play.
Oh, grow strong, grasshopper. Blaine Gabbert. Did you see that right there? I mean, that was thrown on rhythm and time. This is bada bing, bada boom. Look at that ball come out there, man. Another laser beam by Blaine Gabbert.
That certainly isn't a question of arm talent or athletic ability, as that one was thrown off the mark, intended for Hubert. Accuracy has been a concern, but the biggest issue has been confidence, right? He goes to Jacksonville when he's drafted. They got a bad team, and he struggled too, but he didn't have a lot of help around him.
Yes.
And then he goes to San Francisco, where he's the backup. We saw him last year when the Cardinals played there. He played pretty well. A team that didn't have a lot of talent around him. Cardinals are just hoping to get him here for a year, see what they have in Blaine Gabbert, if they can work with him for 12 months.
David, he's worked with 6 different offensive coordinators in the last 6 years. 7 and 7 now.
Sidearms that one to Penny, who's fighting for yardage and close to a first down. You got to consider too, Gabbert playing in that spread at Missouri in college, like Mitchell Trubisky did in North Carolina, having to learn how to play at the pro level and process information under center.
Look at this guy, Elijah Penny right there. That's the way to dip the pad. Dip and rip. Make somebody miss, dip and rip.
You think there's a spot for Penny on this team, or too hard to keep?
Boy, I don't know.
Too hard to keep him with David, Chris Johnson, Kerwin Williams, and Ellington.
That's going to be tough. It really is. I'll keep him over some of those guys.
Hubert lost the ball, and they're going to roll it a catch and a fumble. B.W. Webb scoops it up inside the 10, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. This happened in the first half, where nobody seemed sure whether there was a reception, and then if the receiver was down by contact.
Well, first of all, he's contacting Chris Hubert on the slant right here. You see Hubert go down. He's on contact with him.
I think he just picked that off.
I believe it's an interception, but they're both on the ground and there's contact.
And we can't see the ball, so it's going to be hard to overturn that by replay.
But he's down.
Right, he seems down. Yeah. Oh, he's definitely down. The question is, did he intercept it?
I think he intercepted that ball. And Chris Hubert.
We're reviewing the previous play.
Chris Hubert, based on his reaction, he thought he intercepted it.
So part of this will get overturned, the run back. But it looked like it was an interception. A great play by B.W. Webb.
Look at Jeff Triplett right here. Looks so annoyed now, right? Looks so annoyed. He's got to do this.
He doesn't have to walk as far now.
You got 4 minutes and 11 seconds. He's got the holder of the tablet wearing his shoulder strap just in case the tablet gets wild.
You don't have to come all the way over to the sideline and go under the hood anymore. Again, New York, Al Riveron is going to make the final decision on all replays this year.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to see, but Chris Hubert, his reaction was like, oh no, I think he actually, look at, ball hasn't hit the ground, has not hit the ground. Now he's got it.
Yeah,
watch Chris Hubert. Watch. Oh, Hubert's going to get up, chase him.
And hard to really see the ball there and conclusively say that he didn't catch that.
After review, the ruling on the field is changed. The ball was intercepted, and the player was down by contact at the 38-yard line. Reset the game clock to 4:22.
Again, Wolf, did you notice how efficient and timely they were?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's a lot quicker now.
You're
with
right.
this change. We've seen 2 reversals, and both have happened in faster time than we would see plays last year that were ruling in the field stands.
Yes. Not a bean. You can tell BA's not very happy. He's got that I'm not happy look on his face right now.
So first down for Trubisky and the Bears offense at the 38 of the Cardinals. 4:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. Pitch to Rounds, trying to get outside. Trayvon Johnson is there to bring him down. Loss of about 4 on the play. Johnson, a rookie from Weber State.
Well, the Bears are trying to run the toss crack right there. They didn't get a good enough crack. That's what happens when you don't get the crack. Your toss is host. No crack. Johnson beats the crack and makes the tackle.
Rounds, big running lane. And Rounds gets the first down. 2nd and 14. He runs for 17.
Yeah. You watch this right here, right? You're going to run the zone read. Classic zone read. Go ahead, boys. Mitchell Trubisky right it up. Looking at the end man of the line of scrimmage, which was Ironhead Gallen.
Looking at our Toro ground stats, the Bears rushing for over 100 yards tonight. Remember, they had over 70 in the first half. Trubisky off play action, dumps it off inside the 20-yard line and inside the 10, powering his way near the 9-yard line is Ben Broniker out of Harvard. He was a teammate of Cole Toner for the Cardinals at Harvard.
Yes.
Both guys are playing in an NFL preseason game tonight.
You can see right here, once again, the misdirection. The Bears have been running this play all night long. That boot and the waggle. It's been effective. They've run that play probably 8 times, and I want to say 7 times. It was effective.
First and goal on the 8-yard line. Rounds makes it to about the 6, picking up 2. That's going to likely take us to the 2-minute warning. Cardinals down 3. 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. For every successful Cardinals field goal, Signal will make a generous contribution to Cardinals charities benefiting the Christopher's Cure. 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Watch Budabeka here. Again, on his back, no hands.
Look at his hands.
Full pads.
Look at his hands. Look, we called that a kip-up right there. And you had to put your feet over your head. And I used to be able to do that.
Oh,
David.
stop it.
I used to be
you
able to do a kip. I did.
You did not.
I was a string bean, David. When I was a 16 and 17-year-old kid, I could do the kip.
That was a long time ago. I wasn't around then. Trubisky, and boy, Cunningham was wide open. Nobody picked him up. And the Bears get a touchdown.
Well, this has been the Cardinals' nemesis all night long. We're talking about, watch this. You're going to go ahead, fake it here, and you're going to come back and run the boot and dump it off here. Go ahead, guys. This has been right here. You can see it, as a matter of fact. They busted the play. They busted the play, and he's still on the bootleg, found the receiver wide open. That's amazing.
Aguayo makes that one. So the Bears extend their lead to 10. Let's go down to Lisa Matthews on the field.
Yeah, guys, during the halftime show, there were some very special guests. 225 junior cheerleaders got the chance of a lifetime to dance alongside some of the best in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals cheerleaders, and in front of about 65,000 fans. Such a unique opportunity for these girls. And after seeing Buda Baker's moves, I'm sure he could get out there too.
That was great. You and I were watching at halftime. Cardinals are always reaching out to kids, allowing them to be part of, whether it's the kickoff kid or cheerleading, opportunities to come out after the game as well.
Include the whole family. Are you kidding me? Women love the blood sport.
Well, Michael Bidwell, the Cardinals president, was talking about that with Commissioner Goodell at that fan forum about how the audience has, for National Football League fans, has got to the point where there are many women that are fans of the NFL as men.
Yes. I know back when I was playing, I don't know if it's the case now, but back when I was playing, 41% of season ticket holders were women. Football has a tendency to speak to the soul. And we all have the ability at some point to be aggressive. We all have that ability. You don't believe me, David? You try to take a baby from a mama's arms. You want to see somebody get aggressive on your face? And because of that, I think the baseline of the sport speaks to us all.
Ricky Seals-Jones is wide open in the Bear territory and pushed out of bounds near the 34. A breakdown for the Bears defensively leads to a big play for the rookie out of Texas A&M.
Oh, little quid pro quo. One thing in exchange for another. How about that? You go ahead and have a tight end on a drag and come across the field all night long. The Bears have been running that drag.
41-yard pass play for the Cards inside the 35 of Chicago. Gabbard eludes pressure and throws it away.
You know, right there you can see the kind of work the Arizona Cardinals have done with Blaine Gabbard. In the past, that's a ball he pulls down and starts running. They're trying to get him to work in the pocket, use his feet, use his athleticism, move around that pocket, but not necessarily pull it down after one read and run.
He's 11 of 17 for 142 yards passing. He also has a rushing touchdown. He gets out of trouble here and again throws it away. There's that athletic ability you talked about, leaving the pocket. 3rd down and 10.
It's a great decision right there to pull it down, get outside, throw the ball.
Watch where this ball lands, by the way, here.
Oh. So you got to keep your head on a swivel when you're over there.
I just thought because it's the witching hour we would show that. Crazy stuff happens.
Well, if it was the witching hour, which it is, a great example of that, the guy would have been hit in the cradle.
Gabbard's pass nearly intercepted. Hubert was the intended receiver. Sherrick McManus broke it up for the Bears.
Honestly, can't remember Chris Hubert ever being targeted as much as he's been targeted here tonight. I mean, it is like Blaine Gabbert went into this game saying, Chris, I'm going to get you the ball. How many times has he thrown the ball Chris Hubert's way?
Phil Dawson on for a 52-yard attempt. Remember, he missed on a 63-yard try at the end of the first half that was returned for a touchdown by the Bears. This one has the distance, and it's good. 19th NFL season for Phil Dawson. He was with the 49ers the last few seasons. Now a member of the Cardinals. about 20 years older than the guy the Cardinals had kicking last year, Chandler Catanzaro.
It's a can of corn for Phil Dawson. Right now, it brings up an interesting concept here.
What, onside kick?
Yeah, a situation. What are you going to do? You're going to go ahead and show an onside kick here? It gives you the opportunity to practice an onside kick, which is always a good thing. But do you want to show anybody that onside kick? Now, there are a number of different onside kicks, of course, that you can use at your disposal. But I'd do it. I'd go ahead and try the onside kick right here.
The Bears are expecting they don't have anybody deeper than the 25-yard line.
Just to get a rep at it.
Timeout by the Bears.
Timeout.
They only had 10 guys on.
First, it's a 30-second timeout.
The 11th guy just ran on.
See Jeff Rogers, the special teams coordinator for the Bears right now. He's like screaming at somebody. Somebody needs to be wearing a visor right now.
Oh, I know who he's screaming at.
There are
Harold Jones-Corte, who just ran onto the field as the 11th guy.
I see. You can see it right there. Coach Rogers getting all fired up, spittle flying, screaming at somebody.
This is good work, too, from Matt Weil, right? Trying to make the team as the punter. Might be in a situation where if you find a guy that's really good at onside kicks, maybe even better than the place kicker,
yeah,
it helps you win a job.
Well, I used to love this play right here. The butchery that followed.
Yeah, you can't do now what you could do back then, though, to guys on these onside kicks. Just more of a squib, and Braverman lost it, and the Cardinals had a chance to hop on it. They claim that they did eventually. They'll clear the pile and make a ruling. Braverman couldn't handle it initially, and the Cardinals got it. It worked out. Krishawn Hogan comes up with it for Arizona.
Well, there you go. You just go ahead and you pop the thing over the head of the front line, have the deep man come up and return it. Of course, you got to secure the ball. There it is. That is a classic witching hour play. You just pop that thing up there. Look at the Huns coming down the field. They are bent on destruction. That is well executed by the Cardinals, but it took a mistake by the Bears for that to be a possibility.
All right, here's, since you asked me the question, do you go for the onside kick? Let me ask you a question. If you score a touchdown, do you
you're
go
going
for two?
Okay. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Nobody wants overtime. Cardinals have 2 timeouts, 1:18 to go. Down 7, ball on the 35 of Chicago. Gabbard going to work. Right through the hands of Hogan, incomplete. Nearly picked off on the redirection.
Boy, that is a play right there that if you're Mr. Hogan, you wish you came down with that ball. You had a chance to make a play. Would have been difficult. No doubt about it. Pass was defended. And if you somehow, some way could come down with that ball, that would impress the coaches. That ball was thrown 100 miles an hour as well.
But it was right in the breadbasket. Got to make that grab. 2nd and 10. Gabbard over the middle. Hogan catches it this time. Tackled inside the 15. Oh, his eyes got big. He thought he might score there, but he was upended at the last moment.
Oh, I'm so happy for that kid. Come back, make a play. Make a play.
50 seconds to go. First down on the 14. Gabbard gets out of there, being chased, and heads out of bounds, stopping the clock with 41 seconds left. He only gained a couple yards.
Yeah, you watch this. The Chicago Bears actually playing zone cover down the field. Blaine Gabbert with a little pressure in his face hits Hogan, running that deep in. Had a post over the top. He's running the deep in against zone.
2nd down and 8 on the 12. You see the numbers for Gabbard. Again, that interception was an incredible play by B.W. Webb for Chicago earlier in the frame. 41 seconds to go. Gabbard knocked away, incomplete. He was going for Jeremy Ross. Excellent play by DeAndre Houston Carson. So it's third down.
Boy, that was a great defensive play because Jeremy Ross, his eyes lit up right there. That was a nice throw, though. See those windows, how tiny those windows get. That's one of the reasons why you've got to have a strong arm if you want to play quarterback in the National Football League, because those windows are tiny.
3rd and 8. Cardinals in 4-down territory. Ball on the Chicago 12. Gabbert to throw. Screen pass. Penny at the 10. And pushed out of bounds near the first down at the 5. Clock stop with 31 seconds left. We'll see if it's enough to move the chains and actually get rid of the chains and make it 1st and goal.
Boy, I like this play right here. You watch Elijah Penny. The only thing I'd like to see, we're going to run the screen to the left right here. Watch Elijah Penny. Sneaks out there. Now, the only thing I'd like to see, you get outside, dip it, baby. Dip it, rip, punish somebody with that big body.
He was short. His 4th down. Cardinals going for it, obviously, trailing by 7. Here's Penny. Got the 1st down. Cardinals got to stop the clock, call it timeout. They have 2 remaining. 1st and goal, Arizona. 25 seconds to go. They called the timeout. Oh, he lowered the boom that time. Maybe he didn't do it on 3rd down, but he did on 4th.
Now watch this. They're running the inside zone. He's going to cut it back. Got penetration. Dorian Johnson got pushed back a little bit. That forced Elijah Penny to cut it back to the weak side of the play, and he picked it up. Got those pads low, man. Elijah Penny's got to learn how to run with those pads low. I mean, your plow is up top, David. It's the shoulder pads. The gas is your butt down. So when you lower the plow and hit the gas, those shoulder pads got to be low and down.
So 1st down and goal on the 3-yard line. Gabbert looks, pumps, and the pass is incomplete on the goal line. Intended for Chad Williams. 21 seconds left. And again, we presume that if the Cardinals score a touchdown, BA will go for 2 in the win to avoid overtime.
Well, you can tell Blaine Gabbert didn't like that. He didn't like the throw right there. Thought, you know what? Maybe I should have anticipated Chad Williams clearing that underneath defender and threw that ball quicker.
21 seconds left. The Cardinals still have a timeout. Ball on the 3, 2nd down. And they're going to run it because they had that timeout. Penny has stood up. A helmet goes flying. And it was Penny's helmet, so they stopped play immediately. So what's the clock at? Because you got to stop it right when that helmet flies.
Arizona, their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be 30 seconds.
Cardinals called a timeout.
The ball was killed when the runner's helmet came off.
Right, that's why they got to decide how much time was on the clock, because the helmet's off there.
Yeah.
But he keeps going, so that took about 3 more seconds off the clock. They should add time here.
Yes.
3rd down and goal on the 3. Doesn't look like they're going to add time, though. 14 seconds to go.
Elijah Penny's helmet comes off way too easily. You can see he's got some paint on that thing, though, doesn't he? I mean, that's the way you want to do it.
So out of timeouts. And they go empty on 3rd and goal at the Chicago 3. Gabbert fires end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Jeremy Ross!
I don't know how Jeremy Ross came down with that ball. I mean, that was a laser thrown on a line by Blaine Gabbert. That is a great play. The picket fence being set up by the Bears.
Wow. That thing had something on it.
I mean, sauce.
Great catch, too. 9 seconds to go. Cardinals going for 2. If they make it, they likely will win the game. And if they don't, they most certainly lose. But obviously in the preseason here, you don't want overtime.
That was a small, tight window that Blaine Gabbert threw that ball into.
Cardinals going for the win. You see trips there at the top of the screen. Gabbert. Oh, the pass was off the mark. He had Ross. He had him. But the pass was low and wide of the target. And the Cardinals trail by 1 with 9 seconds left.
What's interesting is Blaine Gabbert threw that ball as if it were a hot. In other words, right now, Jeremy Ross, you've got to see it's a hot situation. You got to be ready and turn your head to catch that ball.
So you're saying that's the receiver's mistake?
I'm saying I don't know that to be the case because I'm not in the huddle, David, but I will tell you right now, Blaine Gabbert was looking at him like, Jeremy, you got to look for that. It was a hot situation. They came after Blaine Gabbert, played man across the board. It looked to me that Blaine Gabbert was expecting Jeremy Ross to look for the ball quicker.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch again where the ball is thrown, it's nowhere near the receivers. The Cardinals go for the onside kick again. Braverman this time just grabs it and falls down at the 19-yard line. 7 seconds to go. Bears will likely just take a knee here, and this one will be over.
Yeah, that was a hot situation. You had the free hitter coming off the edge, which means right now as a wide receiver, you've got to look for that ball now. But it's interesting watching B.A. talk to Blaine Gabbert right now. Maybe we can get some clarification. But to me, it looked like Blaine Gabbert thought Jeremy Ross had to be the sight adjustment.
Well, I'll be curious because remember year 1 of Bruce Arians, there were a lot of interceptions thrown by Carson Palmer. We thought they were bad throws.
Yep.
But we came to find out that a lot of receivers were making mental errors in those kind of situations, and that it was actually on the receivers. We'll find out. I'm sure B.A. will talk about it at last, the 2-point attempt. Overall, Wolf, this game not as well played by the Cardinals as the previous 2.
Yeah, no doubt, David. You know, honestly, I thought the line of scrimmage was wanting for the Arizona Cardinals. I thought the protection from the offensive line wasn't great. They didn't run the ball very well against that front 7 of the Chicago Bears. I thought the rush defense was not great. The line of scrimmage, I thought, was controlled tonight by the Chicago Bears. It was great to see the Badger make a play, a pick that took points off the board for the Chicago Bears, and then the punting, I thought, was excellent here tonight. That's a plus.
Well, that'll do it for the Cardinals at home in the preseason. Remember, their final preseason game is in Denver, and next week will be in Atlanta. That game will kick off from brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 4 o'clock local time. The pregame show will start at 3:30 Arizona time as the Cardinals take on the defending NFC champion Atlanta Falcons. Now for Ron Wolfley, Lisa Matthews, our entire crew, Dave Patch saying so long from University of Phoenix Stadium, where the Cardinals fall to the Bears 24-23. This has been an exclusive presentation of the Arizona Cardinals Football Club.
Arizona Cardinals preseason football has been brought to you by Hyundai.